Greetings, petrolheads! Welcome back to Automation, the car company tycoon game. Today, we're gonna be looking into the 2003 Marina Spark Mark 7. Can't believe this is the 7th generation already. And yeah, you see that now this thing has a new body shell. It's the sort of Honda S2000-esque body, but I think I did a pretty good job disguising that fact. It does not look like an S2000 very much at all, except for, you know, the shape of the nose, which I can't really change that much. So yeah, apart from that, I think you can clearly tell that this is not a Honda, and that's good. So this now has an aluminum monocoque and fiberglass panels. I think that's the first time that a Spark has an aluminum chassis. Excuse me. That sneeze was very hefty. It's also got pushrod rear suspension because, well, first of all, it's a sports coupe to begin with. So boot space is, you know, not its biggest strength, just naturally. So might as well make sure that it's got the best rear end suspension that you can possibly have. And looks wise, I did go for a different kind of style here with the triple round headlights here, and then the indicators right there. And yeah, the tail lights are pretty simplistic, but also I think pretty much up to 2003 standards. Maybe a little bit outdated at that, maybe a little bit old school at that point, but not like really outdated yet, I think. It is obviously rear-wheel drive like every generation of the Spark. And under the bonnet, there's two engine options. The first is still the same 20 valve 2-liter that we've seen before in other cars, including the last generation Sparks. It makes 215 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque, revs to 8,200 RPM, and it's hooked up to a 6-speed manual gearbox. It's got a viscous limited slip diff, running on 16-inch alloy rims on sports tires, 225s all around, making real nice sporty steering behavior. Four piston vented discs up front, 2 piston solid discs on the rear. Solid discs because, well, we don't need vented discs in this thing. We gotta save a little bit of cost. We want to make sure that this thing is a little bit more yeah, affordable, considering that it is now made from aluminum, which is more expensive than the steel space frame. Fully clad on a tray, a little bit of wing angle, cooling flaps to help with top speed and economy. We got 2 sport seats. We got basic CD entertainment because, you know, don't really need anything else in this car. No power steering still, to keep the steering feel as high as possible, as natural as possible. We got traction control because by 2003 you pretty much have to have it. Standard 90s safety, adaptive dampers and semi-active sway bars, and 2.2 degrees of roll angle is alright. So overall this gives us 37.6 drivability, 48.3 sportiness, 21 comfort, 25.6 prestige, 35.6 safety. And the economy is, I think, better than ever in the Spark. 7.74 liters per 100 kilometers is really, really nice for a 215 horsepower sports car. I think that this really is more than adequate economy. I think this is actually really good, considering it's 2003 and it's a naturally aspirated engine. So around the automation track, I think the last generation of the Spark with the inline-4 engine did a 222 point something. This will do a 220.0, so this is 2 seconds faster despite having the same engine. So with that, I think we did a pretty good job balancing this car, setting it up for performance. You know, it's an affordable sports car, really. It's an affordable, like, somewhat performance car. As far as inline-4 cars go, you really only have one competitor in 2003, and that would be the Lotus Elise and the Lotus Exige, of course. Like, apart from that, I don't think there's another inline-4 car on sale in 2003 that can hold a candle to this. We're gonna do... Oh, okay, so we're not gonna do factories and employees later because it doesn't let me. It gives me an error. So let's approach the price. What would you think an adequate price for this would be? Remember, this is today's money, so we gotta subtract a little bit of that if we wanna get 2003's money, because, you know, inflation and whatnot. 25 grand? $25K. I mean, how much was an Elise back then? It was probably more than that. It was almost certainly more than that. Then again, we are a small factory, so maybe plus 50%. 28,000. Let's make it 28,500. So that should still be it. That's probably more than a Miata, almost certainly more than a Miata, but then again, you do get more car than a Miata, and it should still be quite a bit less than an Elise with comparable performance. So yeah, I think this is certainly gonna be a pretty good car for the money. Let's also see how it does here, because it is a sports car. It is a lightweight sports car. With an inline-4, it's nicely drivable, so it should be good down here. .443 is actually pretty good considering this amount of power. You remember that the Flicker with the inline-4, or the base version, I should say, with the 210 horsepower, did a 439, but that car was mid-engined, so it gets a lot more natural grip than this car does. This car, I can see this being like really popular among like people who want an affordable sports car that can drift, because, you know, 225s should be good on the road, keeping you safe when you're not, you know, exaggerating with the throttle input. But when you are putting the hammer down in the corner, 225s should be able to break loose pretty easily. And then, of course, as always, there's also a V8 version of the Spark. This has the same engine that we saw in the Ember. It's the detuned 4.2 liter flat plane V8, 400 horsepower, revving to 8,200 RPM. This also gets a 6-speed manual gearbox. I did go with the automatic locker rather than the electric diff because it's cheaper and it delivers almost the same performance. And Sports tires, 18-inch rims, 245s all around. We got a lot of wheel spin though. We got a lot of wheel spin. 4 piston vented discs up front, 1 piston solid discs on the rear, saving a little bit more weight over the 2 pistons, and it also made it more drivable that way. Now I don't think I want to go with an active wing. Yeah, it doesn't really help. It doesn't help economy or top speed. It would help drivability because I guess it would make for more high-speed stability. But I don't think it needs more than it already has. The interior is the same. This is also almost the same. I think I made some slight changes. And the economy, considering you have 400 horsepower and the car then can reach almost 300 kilometers an hour, the economy is actually superb for this kind of car. I'm gonna say it. So yeah, how much would this cost? Well, obviously quite a bit more than the inline-4 version. I think 40 grand if the other car is 28.5. I think 40 grand for this is a price you can definitely justify. This kind of power and this kind of speed is never gonna come like truly cheap, but still 40 grand considering this top speed is really good. Especially up to and including 4th gear, this thing goes like absolutely crazy for 2003. I mean, even by today's standards, it's pretty damn fast. But the key to this car obviously is the low weight. 1059.6 kilograms. That's like 2300 pounds or so, and it makes 400 horsepower. So the power to weight ratio is awesome, and yeah, when it comes to sheer acceleration, sheer pull, nothing beats a good power to weight ratio. Yeah, and you can see that. Let's watch that again. So that's 250 right there as we shift into sixth gear, and that's 20 seconds. That's really, really fast. And well, let's see how this does down Haruna, downhill. How do you think it would do? Because remember, yes, we have more power, and yes, we have a better power to weight ratio. However, we have a lot more wheel spin, and we have an automatic locker, which, you know, for cornering, is probably not the best if you want to go fast around tight corners, because, you know, if it's always going to be locking the rear tires, then you're going to be drifting a lot, and that's not fast. 434, I mean, I was expecting this to be faster, but actually almost 9 seconds faster. I did not expect that. Automation track. So the inline 4 did a 220.0. 212.3, so 7.7 seconds faster around the automation test track. Keep in mind that this track has a lot of straights where this car can really take advantage of its extra power. And that's why I think it is so much faster here. Let's see the quarter mile time too. I think if we made fourth gear just a little bit longer, like that, or maybe like that, we could maybe get a better quarter mile time. It would still shift into fifth gear right at the end though. Let's make it just a little bit longer. Okay, that's pretty much perfect. 12.6. That's great quarter mile time, considering this would cost like 40 grand. Where else could you get this sort of performance for 40 grand? I can't really think of anything in 2003. So that's the 7th generation of the Spark. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Leave a like or a comment if you did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.